Hello, I'm Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. Thank you for clicking on this video. I talk about movies, music, TV, video games, whatever I want to talk about on this channel. Today's a very special day because yesterday Frankenstein came out.
I must confess, I never considered what would come after creation.
So I want to talk about Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Magnum Opus? Question mark? Definitely this falls in the same vein to me of Peter Jackson's King Kong, which is to say Peter Jackson's King Kong is like King Kong is the movie that made Peter Jackson want to be a filmmaker and like interested in film. I suspect Frankenstein is that movie for Guillermo del Toro. Considering everything he makes is very like the monster is misunderstood and you know the world is cruel and things like that. So I think and last year, which I didn't make a video for this, I don't think, but Nosferatu was Robert Eggers' movie that he's always been wanting to make and made faithfully a remake of. My thoughts on Nosferatu, it was good. It was good. My wife was a little underwhelmed by Lily Rose Depp in particular, but everything around it was kind of cool for her. I dug just the whole aesthetic of the movie, and much like this movie, I don't think I'd watch this again. But let's get into it. Frankenstein is, of course, based on the Mary Shelley book from the 1800s. When this movie is set, Mary Shelley, the founder, the inventor of science fiction as a genre. So, any manosphere people who happen to come across this video, a woman created science fiction, folks. They've always been part of it. Stop complaining about women in Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever. All right. But this movie, from what I understand, according to my disembodied off-screen wife, is very faithful to the book. The most faithful adaptation to the book, famously the 1931 adaptation, was just like, hey, we're making a monster movie, a horror movie. And so we're going to change things to make the monsters seem like more evil and whatnot. And this adaptation, again, it's Guillermo's, so it's misunderstood monster. He's very kind and gentle. Victor is the true monster. We get it. But it's done fantastically. There's a whole framing of this ship that's trying to make it to the North Pole and do some exploratory mission. And the captain is refusing to turn around even though they're stuck in the ice and the men just want to go home. He's like, well, when we get out of the ice, we're still going to the North Pole. We got a mission to do. And then they are besieged by the monster, by the creature, rather. They see him in the distance. They hear a roar. They're like, what is that? It might be a bear or something. They go find Victor in the snow. Like, his leg is all fucked up. It's a false leg, but he's like, you know, down for the count. They bring him into the ship. The monster follows. They shoot at him and try to kill him, and nothing works. And he, you know, pretty cool opening action scene. You know, got me interested. And then, they break the ice and he falls into the ice underwater. And they're like, oh, okay, he's done. And Victor's like, no, he'll come back. And they're like, what is this thing? And so he proceeds to begin telling him the story. Now, I put myself in the position of this captain and was like, if I'm asking what the hell is this giant guy who just took a bunch of bullets and like barely flinched and is capable of moving the entire ship, I don't want to hear, well, it all began with my father, when I ask the guy who's self-proclaimed to make this thing what the hell it is. So, you know, it's just like a funny, like, oh my god, I would be so frustrated if I was this captain. But it works in the whole story. So Victor proceeds to tell him about his father, who's played by Charles Dance, which is great. And Oscar Isaac does a great job as Victor. He's sympathetic, but we kind of hate him at times, but we understand what he's going through. I also want to give credit to Jacob Elordi, who I know is from Euphoria, I guess, but he's been popping up a lot. He's the new hotness, much like Mia Goth is the new hotness for directors and studios to put them in their movies. But he did a great job as the creature. His body movements are very lanky and like awkward and weird, like something that has just been brought to life. The depth in his face, I had to the makeup department, stellar, unbelievable, out of this world. But his emotions, especially for a character who most of the movie can't talk. I have a big soft spot for Jay and Silent Bob, and Silent Bob's, Kevin Smith's acting as Silent Bob. You got to do a lot with your face and your eyes and silent acting. It's very difficult. So shout out Jacob Elordi. I see you. I see your talent, and I look forward to watching your career with great interest.
We will watch your career with great interest.
Mia Goth is in this movie. She plays Victor's brother's fiance. And, I'm glad she's in it as much as she is. Which is to say, enough. Enough of her. This is one of those actors, and actors need to learn this. Sometimes people need a break from you. Because overexposure will make people resent you for just being there. And I think Mia Goth in this movie, she does just enough. Her character's in it. She becomes sympathetic right away. We have this like back and forth. She's not a bad person in this movie. She actually is totally innocent. And she like kind of drops out of the movie for a while and then comes back at the end. The movie's told from the perspective of Victor for like the first half, and then the second half is the creature story. And for that, most of that, Mia Goth isn't in the movie because it's the creature story of him escaping the castle after Victor is like, my experiment is a failure. I created life, but he can't talk within a week, so I'm gonna burn the whole castle down. So the creature, goes to the woods and, is flushed out of the castle, right? Escapes into the ocean, is flushed out onto shore, goes and into the woods and just kind of hangs out until he sees some hunters, follows the hunters back to their home, and kind of lives in the walls and keeps helping this family because it just wants to show kindness. It wants to be loved. It wants love. It wants a friendship. It wants a family. That's what it wants. And so we do get the, if you remember from the old 1930 movie, the story of the blind man who helps him out, the story of the little girl with the flowers, and the little girl with the they wrap that all together, so they make it this family of hunters, and they have the little girl, and the old blind man is one of their dads or whatever, and so for the winter they go hunting wolves who came and attacked their sheep, and that's when Frankenstein learns that maybe the world just is violence. The wolf doesn't hate the sheep, the hunter doesn't hate the wolf. It's just seemingly this is how life goes. It's just violent. And so the old man is left alone for the winter, and this is when Frankenstein makes himself known, and he becomes friends with the old man. The old man teaches him to read and write and speak full sentences. So we get to, I'm spoilers, but it's Frankenstein. It's over 100-year-old story at this point. Get to the end where it becomes a relentless pursuit. Frankenstein shows up to find Victor again, and it's at his brother's wedding with Elizabeth, and Elizabeth likes the creature, remembers the creature from her time at the castle, is trying to protect him when Victor points a gun, shoots her instead. She dies. He carries her like to a cave, puts her on this slab. The arm sleeves for the wedding dress look very like wraps, which I've seen on Twitter is like maybe a little nod to Bride of Frankenstein, which is neat. I thought we were gonna get like some Igor in this, some kind of nod to Igor. I mean, again, it's Guillermo del Toro. I was expecting him to do every Easter egg he can think of. Maybe we get that with Christoph Waltz's character, which is in it for about half the movie. Is important to the plot, but not the movie itself. He just kind of moved like he's the benefactor. He's Elizabeth's uncle who visits Victor in the beginning of the movie to be like, hey, I saw your demonstration at the college of reanimating, dead tissue. I want to fund you completely, and no strings attached, except I might ask for a favor at the end. And as Victor is like trying to capture the lightning to bring his creature to life, that's when Christoph Waltz is like, yeah, by the way, that favor, I want you to put me in that body. And he's like, no. And they fight, and Christoph Waltz falls and dies. But there's a moment where like he takes his wig off and he has like syphilis head, and he has a cane that he's walking on. I'm like, is this a little reference to Igor? I don't know. But that was my thought. Also, there's a scene where Christoph Waltz pees standing up with like his hands on the wall, kind of in a way like LBJ used to like poop in front of people, and like as a business tactic to kind of assert dominance. But the most unrealistic thing in this movie is that a man can stand and pee with his hands not holding his whatever. Like, that was ridiculous. But anyways, the movie ends with the creature learning a lesson that he learned from the blind old man, that like forgiveness is divine, forgiveness is what makes us human. So he, after telling his tale to Victor and the captain on the ship, that he forgives Victor as Victor passes away and dies. And this story warms the cold captain's heart. So Frankenstein the monster gets out, pushes the ship out of the ice. They're free. And when asked what his orders are, the captain's like, we're going home, boys. We're going home. Essentially, the lesson being, there is the unknowable. Like the North Pole at that time is unknowable. Bringing dead people back to life is unknowable. It's playing God. And they kind of make this comparison to like, maybe we don't need to see the North Pole. Maybe it's best left unknowable. And that's the lesson. It's a great movie. Again, would I watch it again? Maybe. With these three movies that I'm choosing to compare, Frankenstein, Nosferatu, and Peter Jackson's King Kong, movies that are a director's dream to make. And I will also throw out Megalopolis, but Megalopolis is like an original movie. Megalopolis was Francis Ford Coppola, who made the Godfather movies. And this was his, like, I want to make this movie so bad for years and years and years, and now finally got the chance to make it last year. But it was an original movie, not a remake of a classic. So that's why I'm kind of separating that out, because that movie sucked from what I've heard. It was all over the place. These three movies I'm talking about are good movies. However, I would watch, and I have watched, King Kong several times, because King Kong's an action movie. And I can dig action movies, right? I can dig that multiple times because it's fun and blah, blah, blah. Yes, there's a lot of reverence for like certain scenes, and in all three. Like, oh my God, the scene where the lightning strikes, the scene in Nosferatu where he first appears to the Lily Rose Depp's character, the scene in King Kong when they first go to the island, or, you know, it does the thing. It does the thing. It does it well. This is a well-made movie. It is beautiful looking. The colors are striking. The lighting is striking. Again, in the beginning of the movie, I was a little worried because it's made for Netflix. It did come out in the theaters, but it's made for Netflix. And in the beginning, had a little bit of that flat lighting and made for streaming feel. Like, it didn't feel like it was shot on film. And just like very digital and, I don't know, gray. But as the movie goes on, and even in some of the beginning scenes, there's lots of pops of color and much more striking lighting and stuff. So I'm glad that, those scenes were outliers in the totality of the film. I think I would rewatch this one more than I would rewatch Nosferatu, strictly because I don't like Nosferatu was very boring. And again, you're making a 2.5 hour movie out of what was originally like an hour. And really, Nosferatu is a ripoff of Dracula. That's what it was initially. The movie studio couldn't get the rights to Dracula, so they just made their own. And just changed the names of the characters. So I've seen better Dracula movies. But, again, the reverence that Robert Eggers had for that, you could feel it on screen. And you could feel it with King Kong and Frankenstein. I just think Frankenstein looks better. The pacing of it moves well. Like, it doesn't feel 2.5 hours. It feels like I'm just getting the story I'm getting, which is great. King Kong, with any Peter Jackson thing, especially the extended version, you can see, I see why they clipped this out, why they cut this out. But it's still fun to watch the extended version anyway. This, I feel like, is the perfect length. It doesn't feel its length. And it's just a great movie. But if you're looking for like scary, it's not that scary. There's like a couple scary, moments in it. And there is, of course, body horror and whatnot. That's Guillermo's specialty. But it doesn't offend. Like, I don't think... I think people who don't watch horror movies would love this movie. And people who do like horror movies would also love this movie because it's just a good movie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be scary. Just because Frankenstein in our minds and pop culture is a horror monster movie, that doesn't mean that was the original intention of Mary Shelley. And so this movie is very much in the same vein as the book. It is a sympathetic monster, and man is the real monster. The original story to do that. Again, Mary Shelley invented science fiction. So, Frankenstein, thumbs up, go see it. It's in theaters still. It's obviously on Netflix. That's how we watch it. While I'm watching, I'm like, man, I wish we had the chance to go see this in the theater. But we were just too busy the last couple weeks. So definitely go see it. It's great. Again, would I watch it like immediately after watching it once? Maybe. If we were going to like a friend's house today and they wanted to watch Frankenstein, I wouldn't be mad at like throwing it on again. But I wouldn't actively choose to watch it again this soon. It's kind of just like it's an art piece. It just sits there. It's great, but how much do I need to watch it again? King Kong has action sequences. I can watch that over and over again because I like action sequences.
My maker told his tale. And I will tell you mine.
Thank you very much for watching this review. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below on what you thought about Frankenstein. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you wish it was scarier? Did you wish it was grosser and the monster like ripped people apart? I mean, there's some scenes where like the monster really does fuck shit up. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you very much. Have a great weekend.